There we are. We're live.
What up, ladies and gents? Last minute, no guest show, but we're going to make it happen anyways because that's what we do. We show up. Here we go.
Shut up and sit down.
The Business Bros Podcast was created for you. Learn from the business professionals who come to share their stories. Find out what's working in business, on social media, what's hot and what's not, straight from the mouths of successful entrepreneurs out there doing the real work. And now, welcome to another episode of
Business
Bros. Yo. All right. So that's what happens when we get closer and closer to the holidays. We have open spots. People cancel up, and this one just happened at the last minute. So if you're interested, we want to hear what you got going on. Otherwise, we're going to talk about what we got going on in our lives.
And what we got going on today.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold Crypto. So if you want to join in the chat, there is a link for the StreamYard link. Hop on here. Make sure you're over the age of 18. I've had a kid try to join, and it's great. I'm enthused, but I don't want to get in trouble that your parents don't let you hop on the show. So if you want to hop on with us and tell us about what's going on, maybe we can talk a little bit about what you got going on in your particular business. I'd love to hear about that. I forgot to move my camera up here so I can look up. I was like, why am I looking down at the camera all of a sudden?
Oh, okay, that's the thing. I got you.
This mic feels so low, but it's because
you know what it is. You've been working your butt off today on this presentation that you were about to show me, and it was down there, and you were just going to work, and it's like, oh shit, podcast time.
What up, Herman? What up? Yeah, dude, it's definitely podcast time, and I did all day long. So working on a perfect webinar. So first of all, big shout out to Russell Brunson, right? So he's got 3 books that we've been really diving deep into. We got .com secrets, expert secrets, and traffic secrets. So for any of you guys who are trying to sell your stuff online, right? So James and I have been what? Gina?
I said Gina.
For those of you who are trying to sell stuff online, those are great books to learn about different processes, things like putting together your presentation, things like how funnels work and how the structure is, how to use things like one-time offers and upsells and all these different things that are that Russell teaches online through that ClickFunnels program. And not that you have to use ClickFunnels, not that there's a ton of different products out there. To each his own. Go ahead and use whatever you like, but the concepts. The fundamental concepts that he teaches in the book, they're phenomenal. So I've been digging into his stuff for the last year and a half, 2 years, and
really that long,
dude. That's when I first got introduced to his stuff. I didn't get his ClickFunnels. I've had ClickFunnels for maybe a year now.
About a year,
about a year now. But the reason I got into it was because I started reading the book. Right. And so
got it.
One of the books. And so, if you're interested in doing that sort of stuff, that's what James and I have been working on. So here's the dilly, right? But like
dilly.
So we've been building our insurance agency for quite some time now, right? And over the last year and a half or so, James has spent a lot of time working on all the systems and automations on the back end of our agency. So think of it like, you got the back end and you got the front end. On the back, that's where all the paperwork happens. That's where all the submission happens. That's where all the, talk to insurance carriers and doing all that stuff that needs to get done. On the
boring paperwork stuff.
All the boring paperwork. On the front end, you got Jake from State Farm, right? That's the best way I can explain it. Jake from State Farm is that guy that's in the front. He's the face of your insurance agency, right?
Flo.
So if you watch those, Flo, there you go. She's another face of the insurance agency, right? And that's what I'm talking about, Herman. That's what we're talking about, business, right? So you have the forward-facing agent. This is the agent who's going to go and actually talk to the clients, right? They're the ones who sit down with the client. They're the ones who talk to the small businesses. They're the ones who talk to the big businesses. They're the ones who are getting the business and being that forward-facing client. Now, if you're in sales, you understand, one of the biggest stigmas that you hear among salespeople and amongst admin is they don't really like each other because the salesperson is out there doing everything they need to do to secure business, but they suck at the paperwork. They're horrible. They don't dot their I's. They don't cross their T's. They don't turn anything in on time. There's always
because they're just out there chit chatting and making connections and saying, "Hey man, you want to buy insurance? Hey man, you want to buy insurance? Hey, you want to buy insurance? Yeah, come to me, talk to me. All right, I got you. Here you go.
But
how do you get to the here you go is
That's where the back end support is working on. So now what we have is everything on the back end. We have staff that handles a lot of all the paperwork. So if you're a forward facing agent, right? If you're the type of insurance agent that is out there talking to the client, but doesn't have that back office support, you don't have the people behind you running quotes. I mean, you don't have the people behind you filing all that paperwork. You don't have the people behind you sending out those certificates of insurance. That's what our program does for you. And so we spent a lot of time building that back end support. And now we're focusing our attention on how do we attract more of those front facing agents. And so we've developed a program using the power of testimonials to help lending offices. That's who we're targeting. Eventually, we're going to go after tax offices. We're going to go after bookkeepers and those sorts of things. But we have to pick something first, right? We have our attention on one type of ideal client. Speaking of which, Ollie's on here saying, awesome, by the way. And Ollie's one of our ideal clients, right? He's one of those people that we're looking for. Herman, what's up, man? He's a real estate. He's going to get into real estate, but his dad's in real estate. And Herman was in my class a couple years ago. So
He has a nice hat.
he does, right? And you're the little cowboy guy, right? You like that cowboy stuff. So
Hold up.
so that's what we've been working on, James and I, right? And he disappeared on me, so he's probably got to do something real quick. Whoop. Oh, he's gonna bring the cowboy hat. That's what you went to get. That's what you're doing right there. Oh,
Since we're talking about it.
Dilly. For those of you who only catch us on Spotify and iTunes, or as Vidal calls it, Spotify.
Spotify.
You're missing James in a cowboy hat. I mean,
A special day.
See, what you guys don't know, I'll get back to some of this stuff. Oh my, we have a guest.
We have a guest.
What's up, Shaylee? Do me a favor. I'm gonna throw you back on, but turn off the sound so we can unmute you, so we don't get that echo, and then we'll get you back on here. So what you guys are missing is James in a cowboy hat. What you don't know about James is he's the type of guy who's always riding his Harley. He's always wearing his cowboy boots. But the hat is a new addition. He used to have this Chargers cowboy hat, right? The Charger cowboy hat. But ever since the Chargers left, he's been a little brokenhearted. He's still sitting around there somewhere, but he's got the new cowboy hat. Shit. You added it at the same time. What's up?
I know.
How you been?
Let's unmute that mic.
Oh, you got to unmute your mic. There you go.
There she is. Hey, Shaylee.
There you go. Shaylee, how you doing?
Wait,
He used to have this Chargers cowboy.
Sorry, I still had you on Facebook.
There it is.
Multiple layering. Guys, this is so exciting. I
So
didn't
good timing.
know that.
First of all, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. What else we got in December? All kinds of different holidays. And anyways, happy holidays. How you doing?
Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, something like that.
We should make up a word.
Happy Kwanzaa. Oh man, that was a
Christmas,
thing. That was a
Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa, yeah, like all of it.
I'm gonna put it on my to-do list.
There you go.
Christmas, Kwanzaa, something like that. I don't know. Anyway,
all right. Well,
happy holidays. How about that?
Anyway, tell me what's been going on in your life. What's been going on in business?
In business, the Hope Rehab stuff is still going really well. And what's really exciting though is I just got to New Orleans. I was living in Texas before, and I would have used your hat, but now I'm here, and I just walked around the French Quarter, and there was this live, beautiful band. It was amazing.
Oh. Nothing like live music, right?
Well, New Orleans, like that's what they do. They just like march up and down the street and play music.
It was incredible.
I've never been to New Orleans, but that's what I heard. If you ever get a chance, go to Austin, Texas, and they have like right by the college, there's like a whole strip of bunch of different bars, and almost every single bar has live music in it. Mm-hmm. So if you're a live music fan, that's like another place to go.
Oh, that's awesome! Thank you for the rec.
And I heard Tennessee has it like that too.
Yeah.
So what's going on? What can we do you for?
I was just checking in. I didn't know that I was going to go on. I just saw that you were here and it was open, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll come say hi.
We appreciate it, ladies and gents. That link is in the chat. If you guys want to ask Shaylee, why don't you tell people who haven't seen anything about you? Can you tell them what you got going on, and maybe they can come in and comment and ask and help.
Absolutely. So I do I work with beliefs, or what I call like the habits behind your habits. So like habits of interpretation, habits of focus, habits of identity, and create an environment for a person to explore, like, do their beliefs work? Like, do those habits behind the scenes work for them? And to try out different ones. And I actually started in that because I'm like fascinated with behavior change, and particularly the kind that we can't force. So it's like, oh, I want to do this thing. I want to do this thing, but like they don't. And so what I found are these like invisible cords, these blocks that hold people in place. And so I work on like cutting the cords and like, letting them do their thing.
Education.
Yeah, look, the habits behind the habits are vitally important. We got Ray on here as well. Speaking of having good habits, right? And I always talk about, yesterday we actually had Trevor on the show, and he's one of Tony Robbins' master coaches, right? And he was talking about how we have the 4 S's. One of them was standards, and the standards that we set for ourselves, right? And the personal accountability. And that's what I was thinking about when you were talking about your own habits, right? What we set for ourselves, what we tell ourselves, what we're going to do, what we're not going to do, where we're going to go, when we're going to get there. What's up, Alvin? Like, all those different things are the habits that we instill in ourselves, right? Like, if the alarm goes off in the morning and your habit is to hit the snooze button, what's that doing to the rest of your day? What's that doing? 4:44. 4:44 in the morning is when he wakes up, right? So, Ray, what's up, man? I want to bring you onto the show. What you got going on?
Hey, gentlemen, how you doing? And lady, how you doing? Oh man, I've been since the last time we talked, man. Man, my business has been really on hyperspeed. Get off on full time. Every night, almost every night, 4 times a week, I'm teaching a workshop. I'm now working with another nonprofit organization teaching financial workshops. This has taken my business from doing maybe 4 accounts a month to about 15 a month, just from the financial.
Nice. See, and these are some of those things that I don't think a lot of people are comfortable saying. I had a successful year in COVID. Like, COVID has been a blessing for my family, for my business, right? I think a lot of people have a hard time saying that because they feel bad that it's, a quote unquote, a pandemic going on, right? And that's not to take away from the people who are sick. If you're sick, if you have a debilitating experience with COVID, you're in the hospital, like, prayers go out to you, and we hope that you get better. And that's not to take away from those types of situations. But just because you're home, just because you're not going to an office, just because we can't shake hands or give hugs, doesn't that doesn't give us an excuse to stop doing what we're doing. We find a way. Ray, you found a way. Shaylee, you're finding a way to continue to grow what it is that you're doing. It's just different than what we were used to, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the hard part was getting individuals into the office to attend the workshop. Now it's a lot easier. You can sit from the comfort of your home and participate in people that's learning how to take care of their financial matters. And it's a changing world right now. And if you don't adapt to what COVID has put in front of us, you don't get left behind. So your podcast, your streaming, or your Facebook Lives or Zoom, you have to embrace that change. And once you do, everything else is gravy.
Dude,
changed the game for us on the podcast too.
Totally did. I mean, it's the whole reason why we experience the StreamYard the way we do. Shayla, I watch your stories every now and again, and you were able to go to the gym. Now, I don't know what it is like in your state or where you're at, but they've shut stuff back down again. How's that affecting some of your daily habits? Like, did you like stop working out, or you just modify what you were doing?
Whenever I wasn't able to, well, first, nice to meet you. I'm sorry, the other gentleman's name? Ray. Well, nice to meet you. Congratulations on your big month.
Thank you.
Beachbody on Demand is actually legit. So,
dude, is that Tony Horton?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
All right, P90X is the shit, dude. I'm gonna share a quick story, okay? Because sorry to cut you off. I'm gonna share a quick story. So there was one time I was doing P90X, and I thought, I finally got to the point where I could do all the reps right, in the allotted time, right? You could do anything for 30 seconds, according to Tony, right? And so but I didn't have a pull-up bar, right? So I decided I was going to go to 24-hour, and I was going to take the same routine, the push-ups, that push-up routine, and I was going to do it at the gym. And I was like, cool. And I was a little nervous because, I don't really like to work out in front of people. It's kind of weird, the whole gym vibe or whatever. But I did it. I rocked it. And then I walked outside and I felt the cold air and I freaking puked. That's how hardcore. That's how hardcore that P90X is. It's no joke. Like, you can modify it, you can try to adapt it, but be cautious of your body, because man, that can.
Worse. It's so much worse.
All right, I'm sorry. I had to tell that story. Go for it. What's your P90X experience been like?
Tony doesn't mess around. I actually choose Tony because of his jokes. But no, I mean, it's actually all of the Beachbody On Demand programming really, it follows exercise science really well. And so it does provide like an environment to generate results. So I totally recommend it. I think like the first 2 weeks are free.
Dude, and one of the habits that I know that successful people tend to have is the working out. It doesn't necessarily have to be as intense as P90X, but that you're physically getting your body and your mind in the right state to move forward. Ray, I want to ask you, what do you do to get your mind right to get going on your presentations or your day or whatever you got going on?
Well, my first thing, I have a daily routine. I have to get up in the morning and do some type of exercise. Either if it's just going for a 4-mile jog that takes me about an hour, a little older, so I take my time. Or since I'm right next to the convention center 2 times a week, I hit those stairs, hit those climbs.
Nice.
Yeah.
My eyes are burning right now. So the thing is, when you're refreshed in the morning, the whole rest of the day is burning. Your mind is fresh. If you just get up and just go to work, for me, that just doesn't work for me. So what surprised me, Shaylee, is that I came in the house this morning and my daughter had the TV hooked up to someone's exercise program, and there was like 100 people on the screen and they were all doing the exercise. And I'm sitting there going, there is a revolution going on here. All businesses from Zoom to WebEx. Man, like I said, if you don't adjust, and I'm looking at all these fitness gurus and personal trainers are moving their platform because all the gyms are closed and people still want to exercise. And a lot of people don't want to go out running. They want to do their regular routine that they were doing during the gym. So my hat's off to all of you that are embracing the time that's changed.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. All right, I'm going to ask Shaylee first, then I'm going to ask Ray. Shaylee, when you're working out, you got your headphones on. Are you a music listener, or are you a YouTube listener, or a book or a podcast type listener? And whatever it is that you are listening to, tell me what's going on in those headphones.
Well, I previously had been like all about the audiobooks or like those YouTube compilations that are like those ones. But recently I've just really been using this space to like really get to know my body. So I'm using all my mental focus, like what I'm doing here. And that's actually a tip for like everybody working at home, because like, all right, do this with your arm right now, everybody. If you want to and you can. Okay. It's like, oh, NBD, you're like using your bicep. You're not really using your bicep. Now I want you to like pretend like do an Arnold curl, like really try to squeeze it. And it's like you're generating some tension there. And so like even if you can't get weights at home or all the bands are sold out on Amazon, like if you use your imagination, it still does some stuff. So
Oh, I'm with you on that. That's for me.
True.
It's simple. I mean, it's 200 push-ups, 200 sit-ups, and then it's about a 3.6 mile run for me right now. But it's nothing super intense. Although I did look out, like Amazon keeps showing this like I don't know. It's just this board with a bunch of holes and like 2 handles, and you can move the handles around to do push-ups. I was like, ooh, that's kind of cool. A little extra tool to give yourself a little extra pump. And before I tell you guys what I listen to, I want to know what Ray does. Ray, you got music going on? You got headphones going on? What's going on in your mind while you're working out?
Well, it all depends on my mode that morning. If I need to really get myself going, I'm listening to some high intensity music that help me get in the rhythm. But if my mind is focused on business, I'm listening to Robert Kiyosaki, or I'm just listening to the whole Rich Dad Poor Dad over again to put me in the right frame, or any other guru that's out there that just attracted me that day to put me in the right frame that I need to be in to continue on with the rest of my day.
I like that. I like that. I heard a saying the other day that it was something to the effect of, it's not about how many books you read. Sometimes it's about reading that same book over and over again to get what you need out of it. And it's funny because I haven't listened to Rich Dad Poor Dad in quite some time, but I remember it was the very first book that I ever picked up and read on my own. Right. Prior to that, like I got almost straight A's in high school, but I didn't read any books. I learned that if I turned the page, pick a quote, put it in my paper, and then said where I got it from, it worked just as well. I didn't have to actually read the book, right? But when I did pick up a book, it was that one. And I remember reading it and my eyes were open to such a different world. It was the same world that I opened the door to the day before, but now all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute. There's a possibility for me to live differently. Like what my parents had taught me was not the only way. There was more. And so, reading that same thing, I'm curious. That's probably going to be on my list now that you've said that. I'm going to listen to it again and see how it applies today. Because when it applied to me when I was 18 was totally different than now when I'm 38, right? Like 20 years have gone by. Life experience has changed. I wonder what message has changed in that book for me. All right, real quick, this is what I listen to. Right now, I've been on YouTube trips. So, Shaylee, I love the Mulligan Brothers. They're a compilation of different speakers, and they add music to the background. It's got me pumped, right? Or I'm listening to Russell Brunson's, which one is it? The Traffic Secrets right now is the one I'm listening to over and over again. And then every once in a while, we used to do book club in our 5 a.m. club. I don't know about book club, but we call it Reading Thursdays because Thursday had an R in it. So we said we would read a book together. And so I have a bunch of different books that I would read and listen to. And you know what you said was funny. You're like, sometimes you just got to kind of listen to your body. There's been some times, not when it's cold. I'll tell you right now, when it's cold, I'm listening to something to pump me up. It's not going to work. But in the summer, when I go out to run in the morning, it's like 60 degrees, 70 degrees or whatever in the morning. I would sometimes just be running in silence and catching up with your own mind. Because I feel like at times you have to do that, right? Like Tony Robbins could be telling me something and Robert Kiyosaki can be telling me something, right? And Grant Cardone and Gary Vee and everybody's telling me things. But what about my own thoughts? Like, what about me? Like at some point I got to think about what's going on in my life and put that out there. So what do you think about that, Shaylee, about being able to kind of listen to your own thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think I always imagine it like there's like this glowing ball in the center, and then everybody's kind of like standing in a different position around it, and they're all talking about essentially the same thing. And I found that you can kind of make your own direct connection with the ball. I mean, it's helpful to like consult the other perspectives, and like it's amazing to have that kind of depth because of everybody looking at it. But you can totally like look at, or whatever that is, truth, isness, life. Yeah.
I like that. Ham, what are you listening to these days?
Definitely Traffic Secrets has been on my playlist for a while, but it's always audiobooks pretty much. I rarely run with music. The last time that I did, I put up my best time, which was under 8-minute miles for 3 miles.
Wow.
But then I hurt my knee. So
all right.
Great time.
We'll go down the list. When you're running and you put on music, who's your go-to artist?
Okay, you guys are gonna laugh at me. I'm on a musical trip right now. Like I was listening to Hamilton. I was listening to Hamilton. Yeah,
Hamilton.
Yep.
All right, Ray. What when you're on music, what music are you listening to?
James Brown, Prince, anything that's gonna keep me moving. I cannot listen to no slow music while I'm running because it'll just slow me down.
No voice to men when you run, no. That's a different kind of mood music. All right, Shaylee.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I love Chance the Rapper right now and Surfaces.
All right, James, you want to take a guess what I listen to?
Eminem.
Yes, sir. That's right there.
Some things don't change.
Dude, you know what's funny is my so I have my couple nieces, couple nephews, right? Well, I had them over and we were all getting in the car and we were gonna go out to eat somewhere. I was taking them all to eat somewhere, and one of my niece brought one of her cousins over, and as we're getting in the car, she goes, okay, so this is what happens. We all get in the car, we all buckle up, and Uncle Nam plays Eminem every single time. I was like, okay, yeah, that's legit.
Accurate.
That happens. Accurate. Why is it that you listen to the people that you listen to? What is it about them? And it's not necessarily, and I'll give you an exact hint. For me, I like Eminem because he is the best when it comes to constructing his lyrics. Like you can have other people who have better beats and maybe some rhythms, whatever, but the way he constructs his words, I don't know, maybe he's a syllable rapper, whatever it is, he's the best at what he does. And I tend to gravitate and listen to the people who are the best in their industry. So I don't know, that's been my explanation. Ray, what about you? Why you gravitate to that type of music that you listen to?
Well, it's not just the beat; it's also the message. What information they're passing on, and how is that going to motivate me to move me forward? Yes, there are a lot of rappers out there that put out some stuff that I don't care to repeat, but then there's rappers out there that give out positive, strong messages. So, I mean, you are what you eat, you are what you put into your brain. So if you're putting in positive content, you'll end up being that positive person.
I agree with you on that one. I eat M&Ms, but not that kind of M&M. Shaylee, what about you?
Yeah, same reasoning. I'm just super mindful about what's going in, and so it's got to be something that is like uplifting and musically, but also like I don't need to be reinforced that there's like fear or things like that.
Fair. All right. I tend to put aside some of those, definitely the vulgar language. Like I'm over it. I know that that's just what's going to happen in that industry. But for me, it's that drive to be the best, right? And Facebook knows that about me. Like if I'm scrolling through Facebook, right, and what video pops up, and it's always the Mike Tysons and Michael Jordans, and like it just already knows, like, oh, that guy's gonna sit down and watch that video. Why? I don't even watch basketball, but I'll sit down and watch some MJ, or I'll sit down and watch some Kobe, like tear up the court, or I'll watch Mike Tyson knock some dudes out. I don't know what it is. For me, it's that gravitating towards that greatness. I think that's why I listen to who I listen to. It's why the books that I read, that's what drives me. What drives you to get up in the morning? What is it that's pushing you to reach a level of success that you want? I'm gonna start with Ray.
I want to help people. That's what drives me. I do not, as our last conversation that we had before, I do not want people to be in the same position that my family was in. Because remember, I told you about the 3 murders in my family, and we talked about, someone else also having that. And the thing is that a lot of families don't have the tools or the information to move forward financially. So what drives me is just educating everybody that's willing to listen.
I love the thank yous.
That's my drive.
Yeah, I love that. I love the thank yous as well. Like when somebody comes up to you and they're like, and they give you that thanks, and it's from a different place. It's not like you give them, I don't know, my snack here you go, and they're like, oh, thank you. Like that's one thing. But when you truly help somebody achieve something, it's almost, you can almost see it in their face, right? Like the tears, the joy, the excitement. It's kind of like George Bailey and It's a Wonderful Life. My favorite scene in that movie is at the very end. Spoiler alert. No, just kidding. It's an old movie. But but at the very end, when he's in trouble and the whole community comes to help him, whether it was a couple dollars here, a couple dollars there, like that is the only movie that I watch that almost brings me to tears every time. Why? Because that's what I aspire to be. That's what I want to do. If I'm ever in need, I hope that I have reached out and helped as many people as possible, so that 10,000 people show up to my funeral the day I die, or they're all contributing a dollar here, a dollar there to help me out of some in whatever situation I'm in. That's a great driving force to have.
And you know what the killer part is? Because of the industry that we are in, you always hear this. Man, I wish I'd have known this 20 years ago. Man, I wish I'd have known this 15 years ago. Oh, man, I would be in a lot better place. That makes you feel good that you're giving them vital information for them to move forward financially, regardless of what the information is, wills, trusts, anything.
Don't matter.
Because a lot of people don't know.
Shady, what drives you?
I think I'm just going to
Don't say your car.
You're just going to copy and paste Ray again. And no, I mean, I've been so blessed. Like, I don't look like I don't come across to somebody who's been through the things that I've been through. And I've been like lucky to get out of it. And on the way, I picked up some stuff that really can provide value to people and change the quality of their lives. And and luckily enough, it's the most fun for me ever to do it. And so that's it. I'm here to get that, to get it out.
Nice. James, I'm inspired
to spread positivity and create wealth for today, generational wealth for tomorrow, so that we all might thrive in life's abundance and pass that opportunity on to those we hold dear.
The mission statement. That's how we roll.
Aren't we cute?
It's a little bit rehearsed. What can I say?
Yeah. It's been rewritten and rewritten and rewritten.
I had something for you guys that I wanted to deliver to you because we are all book readers. And someone very profound in our industry, if you're not within the company, you usually don't see this book. It's two of them.
Ooh.
System Builder. It's all about building your business. And what is the hardest part about building your business? Is building people.
Building people.
Ooh.
So I have these two books for both of you gentlemen.
Awesome. Thank you.
Love it.
Thanks, Ray.
That's
Appreciate
from
it.
Swan Nguyen. You look his name up and you'll see him. He is the industry leader within.
Awesome.
He has the biggest team with over, I'll say, close to 60,000 agents.
Well, the people building, that's definitely something that I love to do. And the systems building is definitely the thing that James loves to do. And you need both. You need both. Well, I want to thank both of you guys for coming on. I know it wasn't planned, an impromptu type show, but thank you guys for joining us. Those are always better. They're fun. And so, thank you guys for hopping on. Appreciate you guys. Ladies and gents, we'll see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow is probably my favorite day of the week.
Hey,
go ahead. You want to add something, Ham?
I thought Ray had someone.
Yeah,
okay.
I just want you guys to email me and let me know a date that I can drop off the books to you.
Absolutely. We will do that. All right. Tomorrow is my favorite day of the week. What day is it? SHIT. So happy it's Thursday. So we'll see you again tomorrow, guys. Peace. And we're out.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Business Bros Podcast. Are you looking to get more clients or to increase your income? Hernan, the business bro, can help you generate referrals through the power of podcasting. And James, the insurance bro with Pipeline Insurance, can help you effectively add insurance to your existing business. If you are ready to create wealth today and generational wealth for tomorrow, email businessbros@seeusfirst.com to schedule a free consultation or join the Business Bros Network, www.business